Welcome back to a brand new edition of Max Talks Box Office here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Tinberg. Today I'm breaking down the box office of the first box office weekend in the month of August, which is August the 1st to August 3rd, 2025. We're going to break down its domestic numbers overall and worldwide for the year and preview the upcoming movies that are hitting theaters this weekend. So, welcome back, everyone, to Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Tinberg. If you're new to the channel, everyone, please hit that subscribe button and ring that bell if you're new to the channel. I do this video every single Monday. I do movie franchise rankings, out-of-theater reactions, TV show reviews, and movie reviews. Pretty much starting today, I basically want to commit to every single day for the most part, having a video on the channel. So please subscribe and ring that bell to notified when my videos drop here on the channel. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on the box office? What did you see this past weekend? What are you going to see this upcoming weekend? Love to hear your thoughts. And also, guys, please hit that thumbs up button down below. It's the like button. It helps YouTube recommend my video to new people. So please, it really means a lot to hit that thumbs up button. So without further ado, guys, let's get into this past weekend's box office, which was from August 1st to the 3rd, 2025 here domestically, which again is US and Canada. And at number one this weekend, not shockingly, is Fantastic Four First Steps, but it took a massive 67% drop in its second weekend. It made 38.6 million. It is now up to 197 domestically. This is very close to a disastrous drop for Fantastic Four. Superman, we're going to keep comparing Fantastic Four and Superman. Superman only dropped 53% in its opening weekend, and it opened bigger than Fantastic Four. Now, again, some people who are defending the movie are saying, well, most big blockbusters drop 60%. That's true, but those movies open a lot bigger than what Fantastic Four opened to. And because it did not, this is not a good drop for Fantastic Four. Now, again, this movie is not in danger for not being the highest grossing movie for Marvel this year. It will outgross Thunderbolts and Captain America: Brave New World, both domestic and worldwide. So it will definitely be Marvel's most successful movie of the year. But Marvel, again, had one movie last year. That was Deadpool and Wolverine. And that made $1 billion. And this year so far, Captain America: Brave New World made just over 400 million worldwide. Thunderbolts made just under $400 million worldwide. And this movie would be lucky to be in the 500s, really around 500, 550 million for its worldwide total. That is not where Marvel used to be. And the next year could define a lot of what's going to happen with Marvel because they only have two movies hitting theaters next year. And that is their two biggest franchises. That's Spider-Man Brand New Day. Now, again, that is a Sony-run project, not a complete Disney project. So Sony makes the most amount of money on that movie, more than Disney and Marvel Studios. But also, the Avengers Doomsday hits theaters in December. So you have Spider-Man Brand New Day, and you have Avengers Doomsday. The last Spider-Man movie made $1 billion. The last two Avengers movies made $1 billion. They need those two things to be massive, massive hits because they didn't really get many hits at all. No hits, really, from this year. And it's going to be interesting as well because, again, Thunderbolts and Fantastic Four are the lead heroes of Avengers Doomsday. And these are movies that are not billion-dollar films. So it is going to be interesting to watch how Marvel reshapes itself over the next couple years. Because last year they were back on top. And this year, all three of their movies will be outgrossed by one DC movie, meaning each of their, Superman outgrows Thunderbolts, outgrows Fantastic Four, will outgross, Captain America. And DC has not been on top and on. And again, we'll get to Superman in a second, but just not a good year for Marvel. And I think they were expecting at least Fantastic Four to be a big hit. They were expecting Thunderbolts to be a big hit, especially with the really strong word of mouth of critic and audiences. Same thing applies to Fantastic Four. Really good audience scores, really good critic scores. It doesn't mean a lot. And this film did not have a good release date, being the third movie of three that came out this month as it pertains to blockbusters. This movie coming out in November would make a lot more sense towards the end of the year, where it kind of has its own couple weeks, but it kind of gets squished with Jurassic and Superman. So Fantastic Four First Steps is number one. The Bad Guys 2 is the biggest movie that opened this past weekend. It was in number two with $21.9 million. This is from Universal and DreamWorks. This is a sequel to the film that came out in 2022 with the Bad Guys. That movie opened to 23 million and made around 250 million worldwide. Garnered a sequel. Someone say, why did that garner a sequel? Because look at the budgets. Fantastic Four cost, for example, $200 million. And The Bad Guys 2 cost $80 million to make. So this movie does not need to make, really needs to make around $220 million worldwide just to break, around 200, I would say, to break even on this movie. Now, again, this is clearly not a top tier franchise for Universal and DreamWorks. Again, when you want to see what the sequel is, if for it to make more money in its opening weekend, it basically made the same amount. So it didn't lose any fans from the original film, but clearly this franchise didn't gain any fans for the sequel. So Bad Guys 2 is a solid hit, but again, this is not a big franchise for DreamWorks. I think they want it to be. But again, $250 million is good with the budget. I think they were expecting this franchise to hit a lot bigger than it did. The Naked Gun is in its opening weekend as well. It's in third place. It made $16.8 million. This is from Paramount. People are talking about how this is the highest grossing comedy in a decade or whatever. This is still not a great opening for a comedy movie. 16.8. It's solid. The budget for this movie, again, was only $42 million. So it really needs to make nearly like 90 to 100 million to break even. But yeah, around I would say like 90, 95 million just to break even. This movie will make its money on the PVOD market and on Paramount Plus. Now, it's going to be interesting now with Naked Gun coming out. Again, great word of mouth, critic and audiences. When will we see the next big studio comedy movie? This is the first time we've seen one in a very long time. Naked Gun didn't break the doors open to a point where this is going to make studios want to make comedies again. And that's what I continue to tell people, which is if you want other non-comic book movies, non-superhero movies in the theaters, and movies like these come out and you don't go to the theater, you're part of the problem. And again, I want to see the movie in theaters. I think many people do. We'll see how Naked Gun does in its second weekend. But again, these are so many movies on top of each other over the last month or so. Superman is at number four in its fourth weekend. It dropped 45%, 13.7, 316 million domestically. Again, Superman is doing very well domestically, but it's still not doing very good internationally. Its percentile on how much money it's made is 57% domestic, 43% international. You want those numbers to be flipped if you want to be near that 700, $800 million worldwide total. This movie's not going to get there. Again, all the DC fans are going to be bragging for years now that Superman did better than three other Marvel films this year. That is all true, but also Superman also didn't break down the doors open for anything. This was a rough year for comic book movies. And while the quality for people seemed to have liked at least three of the four comic book movies that came out this year, you just are not seeing the droves of people that came to see comic book movies in 2019. Now, you can also say this. Deadpool and Wolverine, that was a billion-dollar movie. Spider-Man No Way Home was also a billion-dollar movie. These are billion-dollar movies post the pandemic. The Batman also made nearly $800 million. But that is becoming rare. People don't realize back in that 2019 pre-COVID era, that was the norm for superhero movies where they were all make around 700, $800 million at the box office. Now we're kind of expecting now 500. Like we're at a point now where people are trying to say $500 million is good. The budget for this movie was $225 million. And that's reported before advertising. This movie really needs to make like $650 million to break even. This movie will obviously make its money once it goes to PVOD and streaming. But these are not becoming financially successful films at the theatrical exhibition. Both, yes, there's definitely superhero fatigue, but the budgets have gone out of control. Fantastic Four is a $200 million movie. This is $225 million to make. Thunderbolts cost nearly $200 million, just like Captain America Brave New World. Budgets are out of control. And that's why movies like Naked Gun and Bad Guys 2, who don't have great openings, don't have to worry because their budgets are very good, solid budgets for those movies. So, yes, the superhero movies need to have like a $100+ million budget. Yes. Should it have a two in front of it? Probably not. Wrapping up the top five this weekend is Jurassic World Rebirth in its fifth weekend, dropping 34%, 8.7 million, 317.6 domestic. This movie has the same amount of domestic money that Superman does, but a lot more international box office, and that is why Jurassic World is closing in on $800 million worldwide, and while Superman is barely could get to $600 million. Just shows you want to have more money internationally than domestic. Jurassic World Rebirth does show that from Universal. When we look at the overall numbers, domestic this year, as you can see on my left here, Minecraft is at 1, Lilo and Stitch at 2, Jurassic World Rebirth at number 3, Superman at 4, Sinners at 5, How to Train Your Dragon at 6, Cap 4 at 7, Fantastic Four at 8, Mission Impossible at 9, and Thunderbolts at 10. So far this year, there are 12 movies so far that have hit $100 million domestically. Looking at the worldwide numbers, Lilo and Stitch, as I said, is already crossed $1 billion. It's at 2. Minecraft at 3. Jurassic World Rebirth is at 766. Now, it is already hitting digital this Tuesday, as Universal usually does. 5 weeks in theaters, then it hits PVOD to buy or rent for $25 or $20. So Jurassic World Rebirth won't be a $1 billion movie, but they don't need it to be because they have made bank on that movie once. Again, that franchise is as strong as it can be. How to Train Your Dragon's at 5, Mission at 6, Superman is at 7. F1 also doing very well as well. Brad Pitt, Joseph Kosinski, and Apple are very happy about that. And then you have Captain America Brave New World at 10. So coming out this weekend, guys, there are two movies which are going to really have two completely different audiences for themselves. The big movie is Disney's Freakier Friday. This is obviously a big legacy sequel. This will also tell us if Lindsay Lohan will make a full comeback in Hollywood or this will be a short stint for her. And then Weapons from Warner Brothers, which is the new horror film from Zach Cregger. Barbarian was a very solid hit a couple years ago. This is his follow-up. I'm getting some very good buzz as well. So those movies are hitting as well. Very limited release is My Mother's Wedding. That's the new film starring Scarlett Johansson and Sienna Miller. That movie is also hitting theaters limited release, as well as Sketch, all hitting limited release as well this weekend. So what are your thoughts on the box office? Let me know down in the comments. Like the video, subscribe, and I'll see you guys pretty soon.